Okay, awesome. Hey, Andrew Richards. All right, hey, we're gonna give it maybe 4 or 5 minutes here while everybody jumps on, and yeah, then we'll like officially begin. We'll let our captains talk for a minute. Um, but we're here tonight to talk about race 2, and super exciting. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, because everybody hopefully got the NICA race info sheet. If you're a parent, that's a thing.
A race flyer is what
Race flyer. Thank you, Kristen. Very good. Race flyer. Except I don't know where the chat is. Oh, there it is. Okay, here's the chat. Okay, there's the race flyer. There's also another flyer going out to all the parents with signups for jobs in the pit zone for drinks and homemade treats, and then check-in and other things. So if you didn't see that, that email yesterday came from the O'Farrells. So that's important to check the Google Doc for signups for the meet. So, okay, I put that in the chat, the race flyer. If you need to look at that, it has the map, it has a course description, some other information about the pit zone and parking and how to get to the course. So, okay, cool. All right, anything else? Any other non-related topics that we need to discuss before we officially begin our exciting pre-race Zoom meeting? Comments, concerns? Okay, cool. All right, we'll give it one more. We'll get one more minute. We'll let anybody else that's trying to get on jump on. Okay, anything else? No other topics? No other questions? Non-bike related? Very good. Where's that Hype Squad? Zach Hackett, Hype Squad member. Dude, let's go. I like
He's
this name.
official now.
I like that name. James, what is that background?
I don't know. I'm on my dad's phone right now because mine was broken.
Looks like
Yeah.
I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm on my dad's phone, so
Okay. All
shrug.
good. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna get started. So I'll just run through a few notes while we wait for some other team members to arrive. I know we got a few captains that are not with us yet. Ava and I drove down to Price last week, and kind of interesting, they have not hosted a race yet at the course. And this is the only week that they're even hosting a race in Price. So the course was kind of like not in it kind of been beaten up. No one's really ridden it. And then the pit zone, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. It was all overgrown and there's weeds and stuff. So hopefully they remember we're coming and it's all taken care of. There was the Price mountain bike team was there on the course when we got there, and they were working on the trail and taking care
Me?
of everything. So they said it'll be fine when we arrive. But anyway, yeah. So kind of interesting that no one is using the course. We raced it, me and Ava. We rode it fast. It's a little rockier than I've seen it in the past. So I would just make sure your tires are good and sealant's ready. And other than that, the course is the same as it always is. There's not very many places to pass. If you look at the race flyer, there's only really a couple roads where you can pass or make a move on people. And I'm sure maybe the captains will talk about that. But the course itself, there's a great video of it if you've never been. And I'm going to put that in the chat of Zoom. So this guy does these little YouTube videos, like a course recon where he walks through all the course and what it looks like. So I just put that little YouTube video in the chat. That's a good if you're interested in what the course looks like, that's a great one. So, all right. Okay, that's it. So we asked the captains to come tonight with some advice and some maybe inspiration stuff they felt from last week or 2 weeks ago that they learned. And so I want to turn it over to the captains now that we've got most of the people here. So maybe I'll just turn it over to James. He can go first and talk a little bit about what he learned at the last race and send some advice for Price for this weekend. Go ahead, James.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about that kind of stood out at the last race, especially, was for me hydration. A big one that I don't know if it was mentioned at the last Zoom meeting, but preparation and hydration, especially, I feel helped me do well at my race, and because it was so dusty last time and dry, it like I'm sure people who hydrated well felt it. And Price is similarly dusty and dry, though not as bad, luckily. And so I think that well, on I don't remember, it was one of the team flyers. It says a great way to hydrate is to drink like a water bottle per class period if you're in like high school, or uh like drink 4 water bottles a day if you don't have like class periods. And another thing I also like to do is make sure before the race, especially, um, this doesn't work like for everybody, but I like to drink as many electrolytes as possible. Just because if you drink straight water, you'll deplete your system of all your electrolytes, and it actually, like, if you drink a ton of water and no electrolytes, you'll end up depleting your system because it'll just wash everything out. So I think hydration with electrolytes, like pretty much like the night before and the morning of, like forcing yourself to drink a ton, is a great way to prepare for your race.
Dude, nice. Great advice. That's a great lesson learned. Very good. Nice. Allie, do you want to go next? Let's see if I can get you to unmute.
Sure, I'll go next. One thing I learned from the last race, especially, was like sometimes we get beaten down by getting passed by people. And last race I had a flat and I was like getting all worried, like, oh, everyone's passing me. But we just gotta remember we're here to have fun. And mountain biking is a lot of fun if we make it fun. And even with the wind and like everything bad that happened at the last race, we can still make it fun. So I feel like we need to stop worrying so much about who's passing us and worry more about actually enjoying the course and going out there and trying as hard as we can. One of my coaches for cross country always said, like, you're a magnet and the people behind you are repelling you, like the opposite sides of a magnet, and the people in front of you are drawing you towards them. So I think we need to think of ourselves as magnets, and like we're just there to have fun and we're just there to work as hard as we can because it's you against you, not you against everyone else.
Nice. Human magnet. I love that. Thanks, Allie. Cool. Let's see, Marcus, I see you. Do you want to go next? You good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about something that was super specific to cross country mountain bike racing, that I'm sure a lot of you felt racing Manti, and that's kind of talking about when you want to pace your efforts to go really hard. So one of the things that I struggled with during that race is when it was really flat and everybody's going really fast, it's hard to catch people because everybody's going a similar speed, even though, if I was going a little bit faster than somebody else, it felt like I wasn't gaining very much ground. But if you attack and go really hard on places where everybody's going a little bit slower, like a climb or corners, that kind of a thing, then you can make a lot more of a difference. And we talked about this with Black Team when we did intervals at Mueller Park, and so for our first 2 laps, I was in the same mindset of just go hard the whole time, and was still struggling to pass people on when it was flat. And then Bart Gillespie was talking to us about this and how if you attack when everybody's going a little bit slower. It makes a bigger difference. And then those last 2 laps of our practice, I focused on going harder when people maybe aren't expecting to go very fast, and it helped me catch a lot more people. So yeah, that was a piece of advice that I just recently learned that all of us, I think, can work on at Price, because there's a good climb at Price that if you hit hard, you can catch a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a great little switchback climb. Nice, Marcus. Thanks, man. Mac, you want to go? What'd you learn? And this is a great exercise. Hey, I asked these captains to do this after the race. I used to have a coach that always used to tell me, what'd you learn from your race? And great little exercise, whether it's practice or a race, to just think about, hey, what did I learn? What mistakes did I make or see so I don't do it again next time? So that's kind of what these captains have come prepared with. Mac, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So one thing that I learned that I thought was pretty important is like trying to stay behind people that are about your same pace or even a little faster that push you a little bit. In that race and even at Price, maybe it could be helpful to draft, but even if you don't draft, I find it helpful to try to stick behind someone that's close to my same speed, because then it like pushes me more, right? When you're out alone on the course and you can't see anyone, it feels like you kind of lose your motivation and you kind of like forget what you're racing and forget what you're doing. But when you have those people with you to help push you, then I feel like you can do a lot better. And not necessarily what another thing that I learned, but one thing I wanted to say is that race was like pretty brutal. Not all of them are like that. That was like really a really windy race, and it was a longer course with some climbing. So just know that not all of them are going to be that like miserable in the sense that forced against that wind and stuff. They're more fun than that one.
Yeah. Thanks, Mac. Yeah, miserable. That was a good word for it by the end of the day. It was tough. Very cool. All right. Is Eli here? Okay. And is Sienna here? I don't know if I saw her name.
Yeah, I don't see either of them. I don't know.
Okay. Sometimes they're on there with their dad's phone or parents' phone or something. Okay. All good. Okay, just a few announcements. So, captains, do you want to talk about what we're going to wear in the pit zone on Saturday? Hype squad.
I can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so our theme for last race was Hawaiian. I don't know if all of you were around for when we gave out the prize to Hallie Fowler for best dressed for our theme. It was a Chick-fil-A gift card and a little pineapple drink. And so this race, our theme is gonna be camo. And the same thing, we want everybody to show up. It'll help us, hype each other up, make sure everybody knows that we're Olympus. And I think there's another team in our region that's copying us and doing themes. So we got to show up and show out and do it better than them. So everybody show up in camo, and there's going to be a prize for best dressed. So yeah, everybody show up in camo.
Nice. I was joking around. Which camo do you want, Marcus? Green camo? Does it matter?
Any camo, yeah, whatever you want.
Camo. Okay.
Even digi camo.
Dude, there's some pretty ugly camo on Amazon, so I can't wait to see the natural tree camo. So ugly. Digi camo? Come on, James. That's not real.
Just mix and match all the camos.
Oh, okay.
I want to see somebody wear our old kit from like what it was like 3 or 4 years ago, right? Maybe even older. The digi camo kit, that was amazing.
I want somebody to race in a ghillie suit. Okay, very good. All right. Anything else about the captains or anybody that's raced the Price race course? If you want to unmute yourself, any advice or things that you could share with somebody that's never been to Price that might be helpful? Anything come to mind?
Stu, you kind of already touched on this, but there's not a ton of passing at Price. There's one dirt road right at the start of the race, and then there's a little bit of single track and another dirt road. I always like to try to get in front of as many people as I can, of course, on the first dirt road, but then on that second dirt road, because once you go there, you're stuck on a single track for a few miles at least. And so if you can get past some people there, then I think that's helpful, and you can try to stay in front of some people.
Yeah. Yeah, after the climb and you're kind of up on this little plateau, it's really tough to get around people up there. And I would encourage any of the younger riders to definitely pre-ride on Friday. There's a few rock features, I don't know if that's what we want to call them, up on the plateau that might surprise you. So it'd be smart to test out the switchbacks on the climb and then the rock features on top of the plateau and then coming down into the finish line. So definitely worth knowing the race course and knowing what it looks like before you ride. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I was gonna say one more thing I remember about this course that is noticeable is Marcus talking about like attacking where people don't expect it. The place I find people don't expect it the most is the climb, and right after the climb there's like a wide single track turn. So if you can stick with somebody that you can't pass on the climb, and then pass them after. I've passed like 3 or 4 people in those 10 feet just because they like slow down so much because they hit that climb so hard, and then they like slow down for a second. And if you can attack them there, that's the place. I mean, that's like my secret spot. So
Nice. I agree. Secret spot. Ain't no secret anymore. Okay, very cool. Hey, I wanted to share one thing from the race document. So you're looking at my screen. One thing that I really believe in is this. I think that your attitude or your mind is the most powerful muscle you have in your body. And I love this advice. It says, have a good mentality the whole day. Whatever you need to do to work on your mental game, do it. Pump up music, interact with friends, laugh, have fun. Try to make friends at the starting line. It helps with nerves and the mental game. You know, a lot can go into this week as you prepare your mind for the race, what it'll look like, what you expect, how you're going to act, your attitude. All that stuff can kind of be determined before the race. So this is a really good piece of advice before race day. All right. Anything else about the race course or the price? Maybe you loved the dinosaur museum, or I don't know. Any other advice for Price?
I think that's Vernal, Stu.
That's Vernal.
Oh, no, there's a dinosaur museum. Don't miss it. It's on Main Street.
Oh, well.
There's a train museum.
Train museum? See? This is great. Any other advice about the course or just being in Price? Okay, any questions from people that have never been there or questions about how the pit zone worked last time or anything that we can help you with?
I'd also like to add that if any of you have questions on race day, you don't really feel like you know what you're doing, you need questions about your warm up, how much water should I bring, that kind of a thing on race day, or anything else you might be wondering, come reach out to us captains, coaches. We'll help you out because I know it can be really overwhelming, you not knowing what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be on race day. So, you know, we're available.
Marcus, do you know, Manti had that good little warm-up little lap right above the course. Does Price have something similar that you don't have to get on the course, but a little warm-up single track somewhere?
Sort of. There's a road that you come in on, I think, that you can warm up on. And then if I remember right, I think there is some single track off of that road. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Was that Andrew that asked that question?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's like a funny little road that runs parallel to the pit zone and the camping area that everybody kind of like goes up into these little hills. It's not quite as organized as Manti. It's just little Price dirt hills by some oil pumps. It's very fitting for Price, but that's really the only place to go.
Yeah.
Unless you're out on the road. So
Perfect. Okay. Thanks.
yeah. Okay. All righty. Anything else? Any goals for race day or anything else from the captains before we sign off? Any other parting words of advice to the team?
One thing I'd like to add to Marcus is also like parents, if you have any questions about rules or like places to cheer, ways to volunteer, ways to help out, what your kid should be doing. Like I know maybe it's scary for a junior Devo kid to come ask a high schooler or coach by themselves what they need to be doing. Like I I know I'd be happy, and all the captains would be happy to help really anybody associated with the team. Just making that statement more general.
Thanks, James. All righty. Hey, I have a big goal or challenge for you. There's a lot of work that goes into setting up that tent and setting up the food and taking care of this incredible sport. There's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes. So, as a team, if you see someone that's serving you or helping you, just express your gratitude or thankfulness for all the stuff that goes into making Saturday fun and a great team event. So, all righty. Anything else, captains?
Yeah, just go do your best at Price. That's all you
Yes.
can do is your best.
All righty, everybody. Hey, thanks. Grateful for these captains. They're so awesome. They're such great leaders. And I'm just grateful for their example to all of you. So, all right, we'll see you for the pre-ride Friday and then game day on Saturday. Thanks, everybody.
Camo!
Camo.